The Bible talks about one. It talks about God as being one and not more than one. And this is the Hebrew Shema in the Hebrew language. And what it says is Shema means hear. Hear, O Israel, the Lord our God is one Lord. Shema Israel, Yahweh Eloheinu. Shema Israel, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. It's hear, O Israel, the Lord our God is one Lord. It's called the Shema. It's the anthem of the Jews. It's found written in two places in the Bible. Well, throughout the Bible, that oneness comes out, rears its head out of the Bible. It's found written in Deuteronomy chapter 6, verse 4, Mark 12, verse 29. If Moses said, in both the Old Testament and the New Testament, if Moses said, the Lord said, I'm one. This is the Shema found recorded in Deuteronomy 6 and 4. Shema Israel, Adonai Eloheinu, Echad Adonai. Hear, O Israel, the Lord our God is one Lord. Moses is standing before Israel saying, the Lord is one. And he's repeating what the Lord told him to say. Not only is Moses saying it, but also Jesus is saying it in Mark chapter 12. He didn't say he's more than one. Mark chapter 12, verse 29. Jesus said, the first of all the commandments is, hear, O Israel, the Lord our God is one. The Lord our God is one. Amen. And again, this is the Shema in their language. But let's take a look at the Shema broken down. And I've got it in red. Shema Israel, Adonai Eloheinu Echad. Shema means hear. What Moses is saying and what God is saying is you better hear it, you better receive it, you better act on it, you better do it, you better always believe it. Israel, it was talking to God's people, but of course Paul reveals that we are spiritual Israel. It's to us. The thing that differentiates us, but there are two threads in Christendom. There's the one thread that says that he's one. There's the other thread that says he's more than one. Which one is right according to the scriptures? So Israel is talking to, he wants Israel to know, believe, and hear and act upon the fact that he's one. We're spiritual Israel. He wants us to know the same thing and to know his name. That's what Adonai represents, and that he is our personal God. He is the first person possessive of Elohim, meaning he's not just anybody's God. He is our God. He is not the world's God. He is our God. But the word that we're zeroing in on this Shema is the word Echad. It's the cardinal number one. You can take 100 and break it down into 100 single units. You can take 50 and break it down into 50 single units. You can take 2 and break it down, and 3 and break it down into single units. But you can't break the cardinal number, the prime number one, down into anything other than one. And God adamantly says, I am Echad. That's the main thing. Someone asked me the other day in my office, why was Israel the chosen people? They're the chosen people because the whole world had forgotten God, didn't know anything about God, and God wanted to reintroduce himself to the world, and God called out Abraham. He chose Abraham, and through the loins of Abraham produced a people that had one single purpose, and that purpose was to inform and let the world know about him through a word that would be sent through them, which is called the Bible. He's called another people. It's called the church. It's called the Apostolics. They have one mission in life. You don't have to know a thing about sanctification, justification, glorification, none of that. Jesus wants those who follow the Apostles' doctrine to stand up and declare that Jesus is one. Listen, every other, what they call denominations, everyone says that he's more than one. There's only one that says he's one. And if you are a Baptist and say he's one, you're apostolic. If you're a Methodist and say he's one, and I'm talking about Echad, not that derivation that we're going to be talking about momentarily. Shema, Israel, Adonai, Eloheinu, Echad, Adonai, he is one. But God is beyond description. But there's one thing that God will not stand for, and that is him being called a person. You are a person. I am a person. God is beyond description, has no eyes but still see, has no ears but still hear, has no feet but still walk. We don't know what his dimensions are. He is dimensionless because everything is in him. The only time that he ever showed up here as a person was when a body came out of a woman, and he walked on this earth for 33 and a half years. He was a person then. He came into this world as a person to die for our sins, and he left this world to be a person no more. And that's why the Bible said, although we've known Christ in the flesh, now henceforth know we him no more in the flesh. There is no more and has never been an eternal sonship. Jesus, when he left being a son, he left his son here at Mount Olive. It was 11 men. And by the time the day of Pentecost came, they had grown to 3,000 men. And by the time that there was a second major revival that took place in Jerusalem, it had grown by another 5,000. And now it has encompassed us. He was the Son of God because God was in him, in a body of flesh, making him the Son. And he's still the Son of God because the Spirit of God is in us, still in flesh, which makes us now the Son of God. We are now the sons of God. But he is one. But let's not hear what I have to say. Let's hear extra biblical. That's outside of the Bible testimonies. Historians, archaeologists, those who study the Bible, study history, study Judaism, etc. And I picked the ones to quote who are Trinitarians. These are Trinitarian historians, such as Eusebius. Eusebius is a Trinitarian Bible scholar, but they still hold to the fact that regardless of what their church teach, they're going to say from a historical perspective what is true. So listen to what some of them have to say concerning the Trinity as being spurious. That means false, falsely added into the Bible. Professor E. Washburn Hopkins, in his book Origin and Evolution of Religion, a Yale professor, he said, to Jesus and Peter, the doctrine of the Trinity was apparently never known. That means Peter didn't teach it, Jesus didn't teach it. Let's take a look at the Encyclopedia of Religion, volume 15, copyright date 1987. Exegetes and theologians today are in agreement that the Hebrew Bible does not contain a doctrine of the Trinity. Further, exegetes and Trinitarians agree that the New Testament does not contain an explicit doctrine of the Trinity. Now, these are sources other than the Bible. Let's go further with the International Standard Bible Encyclopedia on its article Trinity, page 3012. The term Trinity is not a biblical term, and we're not using biblical language when we define what is expressed by it as a doctrine. Let's take a look what Lyman Abbott has to say in his book, A Dictionary of Religious Knowledge, page 944. The Trinity is a corruption borrowed from the heathen pagan religions and engrafted in the Christian faith. The Greeks, the ancient pagan Greeks, beginning with Pythagoras, the founder of religion, of geometry, and geometry then was called a cult that was kept secret and only reserved for them. Pythagoras and Plato and Aristotle and all of those believed in that the power of the equilateral triangle. All the angles are equal, all the sides are the same length. So you got three sides in one triangle. You got three angles in one triangle, and it was called their Timaeus. From their Timaeus, it was called the Trinitas, and from the Trinitas, it came into the church and was called the Trinity, talking about three sides of a triangle in one triangle. And so the dictionary, the Dictionary of Religious Study by Lyman Abbott says the Trinity is a corruption borrowed from heathen pagan religions and engrafted on the Christian faith. These are Trinitarian historians that are making these statements. Now, what does the scriptures have to say about this insult to God? That you would say the person of the Father, the person of the Son, and the person of the Holy Ghost, and then make the person of the Son the eternal Son, when he had a definite birth date when he came from the womb of Mary, and had a definite end date when he died on the cross, and then left us here as the Son of God when he said, I came from being God and I'm going back to being God. So what does the scriptures have to say about persons? God says, I take it as an insult. In the Old Testament, David went to Nathan and said to Nathan, I think I'm going to build God a house. And Nathan went to God and said, David said he wants to build you a house. And God responded, that is an insult to me. How can he? I'm God. How can he build me a house to dwell in when I made the whole world? He said, that's insulting. Go back and tell David, you want to build me a house? No, I will build you a house. And this is the same thing that is being said here. You're going to call God a person? It is an insult. You want to investigate God to arrive at persons? No, he's going to investigate you. That's what Job 13:7 says. It says, will ye speak wickedly for God and talk deceitfully for him? Will ye accept his person? That's calling him a person. Will you argue for it? Will you contend for God? It is good that he should search you out. Or as one man mocketh another, do you mock him? He will surely reprove you if you do secretly accept persons. Now, you see what that's saying? It didn't say single person because they're talking about more than one. He said, I will reprove you. And we're told, well, it's beyond understanding. We know about the mystery of godliness, but it's not beyond understanding because the Bible said God was manifested in the flesh. He said, this is God saying, I will surely reprove you if you do secretly accept persons. You'll find this scripture only in the King James Version of the Bible. You won't find it in the New International Version. You won't find. They have given another interpretation to this scripture. This is the reason why the King James Version is superlative, though it has its flaws, to all of the other versions, because that scripture holds more closely to the scriptural text that came out of Antioch, Syria, and not out of Alexandria, Egypt. But the point here is God says, how dare you call me person? How dare you say you're going to build me a house? I'll build you a house. How dare you call me person? I'll search you out and show that you are a person, and I'll reprove you toward that end. What does the Bible say about the oneness of God as the threeness of God? The historians say that there is nothing in the Bible that says oneness. Well, God says in Isaiah 43, verses 10 and 11, ye are my witnesses, saith the Lord, my servants whom I have chosen, that ye may know and believe me and understand that I am he. Before me there was no God formed, neither shall there be after me. I am the Lord, and beside me there is no Savior. Now, can you get any simpler than that? Can't get any simpler than that. Other scriptural texts validating the fact that God is one. Isaiah 46:9, there is none else. Isaiah 45:21, there is none beside me. Isaiah 45:22, there is none else. Isaiah 45:18, I am the Lord and there is none else. It's almost like knock on wood. Is anybody home? Do you understand what I'm saying? What the scriptures are saying?